So, of course, it's all about Brian Mbeumo and how far he is in becoming a Manchester United player. David Ornstein did bring out the news late last night for us, which is a bit of a bomb, but we have to be patient. It is early in the transfer window, but that's what we're going to be speaking about today. Why Brentford are being so annoying with regards to letting Brian Mbeumo become a Manchester United player. But let's get into it. And these are the quotes from David Ornstein himself. He says that Brian Mbeumo has told Brentford and Spurs he will only join Man United if he leaves Brentford this summer. The proposals that we have given are 45 million plus 10 million in add-ons and 55 million plus 7.5 million in add-ons was the two bids that were rejected. Now, of course, there is still discussions taking place, and we are quite a few million short of agreeing a full deal for Brian Mbeumo. It has also been reported that Manchester United are calm in this particular pursuit of Brian Mbeumo because they are comfortable and know that he does want to join Manchester United regardless of us not having Champions League football. But this always seems to happen to Man United with regardless to any transfer that we do make. Clubs tend to be difficult. They tend to try and squeeze as much money as possible out of Manchester United. And it does cause a delay and a bit of a saga when it comes to a transfer that Manchester United wants to do. But we have to be calm because even though preseason does start in a few days, it's still quite a while before we play that first preseason friendly. And I'm sure by then we will have Brian Mbeumo in as a Manchester United player because Ruben Amorim does want him and of course Cunha to be ready for that first day of preseason, as I said, to help themselves into the team, to integrate in terms of the style of play, the system, trying to get used to the new teammates, etc. So we must remain calm. The transfers are being taken place, but of course, not knowing so much news about it is a bit of a problem. In previous years, there were so many leaks with regards to the news that Manchester United has. Things that were not supposed to come out came out quite easily. And now, since Ineos have come into play and since they have plugged the leaks, so to say, it has been slow in terms of news coming to us as fans and us trying to understand what is going on behind the scenes. But on the other hand, this is quite good because now we can't have any other clubs try to take advantage of a leak that maybe would have come out with regards to us trying to structure a deal for Brian Mbeumo. It's a simple deal between us and Brentford, and it's all about Brentford just wanting more money. Of course, this does upset the likes of Brian Mbeumo. Of course, United feels that it's a bit of a saga, but these are the things that normally happen when it comes to Manchester United. Clubs just tend to be difficult when Manchester United are knocking on the door. Whether Brentford can replace Brian Mbeumo, that's entirely up to them. That is why they want as much money as possible so that they can look to replace Brian Mbeumo quite comfortably with a player who is either not as good as him but close enough to him to kind of fill a void that Brian Mbeumo will be leaving at Brentford. Now, I certainly am tired of Brentford being this annoying and kind of dragging it out because the longer they take, the longer we also take to get to our next target, which is potentially a striker in a Gyökeres or Osimhen or even an Ekitike, etc. There's a midfielder we also want to try and get into the club, but this can only be done once we get Brian Mbeumo completed and done. And then we will look to move on to other targets. Of course, as I said, we need to sell players first. Sancho is probably on his way to Juventus. He is close to agreeing a deal with them. Juventus do want him. It all comes down to whether he accepts the offer or not. We know that Rashford wants to go to Barcelona. Whether that materializes or not, it is an option for the club. Anthony, of course, is still an option. Casemiro is also one that can be put up for sale if a decent offer comes in for him. So there's going to be a lot of transfers in and out of Manchester United between now and until the end of August, most likely. Do not be surprised if we find ourselves having deals on deadline day because with the chances of us getting a striker in immediately after Brian Mbeumo will only be a considerable fact if we do find an opportunity to get a top striker in. There could be the other choice of us not getting a striker in if we are not able to get in an Mbeumo or a Osimhen, because we have too many young strikers at the club. Xerxes is still young. Wayland, even though he's attracting interest from Italy, might stay at the club. You know, they might give him another opportunity for the season. We know that Cheeto is also in the academy and also pushing to make a breakthrough into the first team. So bringing in another young, unproven striker like an Ekitike is not going to be something that Manchester United should be looking at, especially if Ekitike is quite expensive with what has been reported with regards to his transfer fee. So it's all about Brian Mbeumo and whether we get him sooner rather than later. We just have to wait for the next news to come out, where we will probably hear a third bid has gone in, and hopefully, and I do believe that that third bid might be the final bid, because if Brentford don't accept that, Manchester United might just have to walk away from the Brian Mbeumo deal and might lose him to another club, Spurs, etc. But we have to take a stand in terms of not wanting to be taken advantage of or rolled over by these lesser clubs that are trying to exploit Manchester United and where we are right now. But of course, let me know in the comment section what you think of Brentford being this annoying with regards to the Brian Mbeumo deal. Are you worried if Brian Mbeumo is going to become a Manchester United player or not? And of course, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching the video. And of course, till we see each other in the next one, bye-bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.